Hi everyone, this is Jim Egan, head of school, Synapse School, with a Friday update. It is a beautiful Friday here in Menlo Park, California, and wherever you are, I hope it is beautiful for you too. It's at the end of March. We're heading into spring break in a week or so, which is really exciting. There's a lot I should update you on. First and foremost, this week at Synapse has been all about admissions. For our K-8 school, obviously, for our 8th graders who are applying to high schools, and then even our 8th grade graduates who are now graduating high school into college. I heard from some of them today. I heard from a student who is planning to attend UCLA, got the news recently. Another one who got into Brown. These are really exciting moments for us, even though we haven't seen some of those kids in a few years. In terms of our 8th graders, the process, I think, finally came to its end. It's going to be pretty stressful for some of our families. The outcomes have been tremendous. We have heard from our families lots of options, independent schools in the area, charter schools as well, boarding schools on the East Coast, boarding schools in California. So we have all kinds of options for our 8th graders, and I think we have some very, very grateful and super happy families as well. So we'll be getting that list together and sending it out in its full form once we get all of the decisions back to us. In terms of the K-8 admissions, Deanna, who is our interim director of admission with Dana Story, her assistant, they have done an incredible job translating our innovative and relational program into a Zoom virtual event. And we have had a great season. We are packed. We have a full house. I really want to thank our teachers, thank our admissions team who pulled off something that is not easy to pull off. So I feel very grateful as a head of school who looks at these numbers with intensity, that we are at capacity and then some. So again, great news all the way around in terms of admissions, and that's been the big thing this week. In terms of our planning for after spring break, it's still all systems go. We're looking at airflow and space. We're looking at desks and inventory. And we plan on moving towards, after spring break, moving towards team teaching and expanding cohorts for 2 weeks. And then on May 3rd, full days, Monday through Thursday. Friday will be a day on Zoom, half day. That'll be on the Fridays throughout May to the end of the year. As long as the percentage of cases stays where it is, like under 1%, as long as the metrics in our area continue to be what they are, I see no reason for this not to happen. So we are working diligently on campus, working with our teams as well. That's ongoing and takes a tremendous amount of work. Please understand that our division heads in particular are working tirelessly on this. So it's hard to engineer this stuff, right? So so just be mindful of that when you are reaching out with questions. The calendar that's in our newsletter today, take a look at that. You will see that the summer as well as the academic year next year look more typical. That was very intentional, like everything we do here. We wanted to give families a typical summer. We wanted to give staff a typical time for rejuvenation and a more restorative break during the summer. So we're not coming back until the end of August, and you will see it's a typical calendar to signal to you things are getting better and things are going back to a new-ish normal, which has been stated and overstated over and over. But for next year, we are planning on the calendar just being the same as in many years past. Hiring, we are doing a lot of hiring right now. We don't look to have very much, if any, attrition really in terms of our current staff. We have a couple staff that will be announcing their departures who are going back to graduate school or attending to other matters, but every one of our advisors, every one of our lower school leads, they're all staying put. So I really can't believe how well we've done in terms of retaining our tremendous teachers and our staff, which is good news. But we're looking to expand our learning center. Some of you don't know, we have a literacy center. We'll be changing the name to a learning center. I have an update from Dana Cooper, who's the director of this. The purpose statement, I'll read it here because I have it in front of me. The Synapse Literacy Center aims to create an empowering educational experience for dyslexic learners, supporting them in achieving academic success and preparing students to be change makers. The Literacy Center addresses dyslexic students' unexpected difficulties in reading with evidence-based interventions and supports them in harnessing and developing their strengths within Synapse innovative academic program. And so currently there are 24 students in this center with Dana Cooper, with Lauren, who's also teaching there. And that's just an L2, L3. We'll look to expand that. It's been a tremendous first year and trial run. We'll be expanding that into 5-6 next year as well. So there will likely be some additional hiring. We'll also be expanding our associate teacher program into the middle school as well. So we're in the midst of bringing candidates in. It's exciting. There's a lot going on. I talked to an associate candidate first thing this morning who was very impressive. So that's ongoing. And some other, this is really, really good news. We're getting some research results back from Stanford. I was just on a call with the Stanford team. We were going through the initial findings from our partnership around how do you open a school successfully in a pandemic, right? That's the question. And so the research team was presenting initial findings. There was a slide that looked at the percent of errors in pediatric self-specimen collection over time. It was really interesting to look at the graph, and you could see when we switched from distance to campus in the fall, right after fall break, you could see a spike in multiple mistakes with kids, right? So we discussed, like, what is that about? And over time, we would see many of these issues were going away, and the kids didn't need explicit instruction to do the swirls in the nose so much, right? Like, so you saw the errors slide, and actually by February, after the February break, error rates were consistently lower. So we were talking about why that could be. And the researchers and the doctors were saying, habits were formed after a matter of time. And so habits are important. And so under observation, after good habits are formed, under observation, error rates are low. And so we can now share that externally when other schools and other districts may be looking for data and evidence. Like, this is what we are finding. So we are learning a lot in this process, and we are now able to actually document it, and we will be sharing this with our community before it goes anywhere else as well. And so last, but certainly not least, save the date, May 8th. That is when we will have our spring benefit. It's in the newsletter. Read the newsletter. You will see we are planning something not on Zoom. There may be cars involved. There is going to be an auction involved. I have quickly gathered some intrepid and amazing parents to help me with this. Sarah Hill on the back end, behind the scenes, always nailing it. So we are going to plan for a May 8th party, a gathering. It's going to be for everybody. It's going to take into account those who've been super safe and distant. How do we incorporate them into this event, not on Zoom as well? As we do with everything, deep intention, lots of creativity, and I'm really excited about it. May 8th, save the date. We are going to celebrate. Okay, have a super weekend. It is beautiful outside, and things are looking up. Okay, everybody, take care.